When I was 10 years old, I was a rather introspective kid, and I would often tell myself, don't let the cynicism get to you. I loved making a big deal out of celebrating holidays and birthdays, and I truly believed that life was worth celebrating. I didn't fully understand it at the time, but even as a kid, I knew that being cynical was not the best way to lead a life of contentment. Some of the most cynical people I've met over the years are those who dedicated years of their lives strictly in pursuit of what they thought they were supposed to do, whether it was chasing money or a stable job, rather than what they felt called to do. And for those of you sitting here today feeling like it wasn't supposed to be this way, or this is exactly how it's going to go down, I'm here to tell you that rarely in life do things go exactly as we imagined, as you've seen here tonight. Whether it's confessing our feelings to a crush or acting out a scene on stage, there are often external variables at play outside of our control. And strangely enough, it's that X factor, serendipity, je ne sais quoi, that makes life or a film scene that much more interesting to experience. But it is only in relinquishing our expectations and thereby our control that we can fully sit back and enjoy the ride. So, what does that look like in practice? As an actor, in order to become a character, you must get to know yourself. Your voice, body, and mind are your instrument. When starting out as an actor, some of the most difficult characters you might play are often those whose values and principles fundamentally challenge or go against our own. Embodying different characters over the years has enabled me to go down unexplored avenues of myself that I may not have otherwise explored. After playing hundreds of characters over the course of the years, through auditions, classes, and working on set, I've become intimately familiar with my physicality, accent, and emotional triggers and resistances as an actor. In other words, I've really gotten to know myself well. Resistance creates limitations, impossibilities, and boring scenes, therefore stagnant lives. It's only letting go of any judgment we may have towards a character, and therefore resistances, that I can fully make way for characters to come to life. Paradoxically, when embodying a character as an actor, I'm not necessarily becoming someone else, but developing and becoming more of myself. So, how does this relate to you if you're not an actor? Whether it's getting in shape, building self-confidence, or establishing a new habit, don't judge your character. Observe and learn. Get to know what you're working with. Don't judge yourself. Practice radical self-acceptance and become your best friend. No one knows your limits better than you do. Whether it's how long you can sustain your voice while yelling at the top of your lungs as a voice actor, or playing an emotionally taxing role, only you can decide if you're capable of handling the toll. The sooner you let go of your judgments and embrace who you are, the sooner you can begin to enjoy your journey. So once you know who you are, how do you get to where you want to go? Focus on the why, and the how will follow. As an actor, you get a script and learn your lines. But scripts are guidelines, not hard and fast rules. If you're worried about being word perfect, you're not being present and connected with your scene partner. Sometimes, in the heat of a moment, you might blank out and forget some words. If that happens, remember why you're here in the first place. The person across from you is the most important person to you in the world in that moment. Why am I here, and what do I need from them in this moment? If you know your intention, it will give you direction. If you lose your way in a scene as an actor, you might think, what would my character do? If you lose your way in life, You think, what would my higher self do? Let go of the rigid idea of how you want the scene or path to go in your life. Adapt to the changes rather than resisting. In martial arts and stunt fighting, rolling with the punches minimizes the impact of the hit. The same applies to life. Had a bad day? Use it as fuel. Roll with the punches, remember your why, adapt, and keep going. So now you know who you are, why you're here, and where you're headed. How can you make people care? In your favorite movies and TV shows, it wouldn't be a very interesting story if the main character was perfect and flawless. It is your humanness that makes you whole. Whether you're a character in a show or an individual sharing your journey, your struggles are what make you relatable and what make people care and root for you. However, emotions are not the goal. They're a consequence of surrendering to the moment and taking action. In a comedy scene, if an actor tries to be funny and play it up for the audience, instead of experiencing the character's turmoil, chances are the joke's not going to land and the intended effect won't happen. The same applies for emotional scenes. Sometimes a character holding back tears is more effective than bawling their eyes out in order to leave a lasting impact on their audience. Let go of the need to control your image and focus on being present and surrendering to the moment. So, how can you actually let go without worrying? Be prepared and take risks. The more you prepare, the more you can let go and have fun. Letting go is not complacency. As an actor, the more you explore in rehearsals, the more you can play in performance. As Roman philosopher Seneca said, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Cultivate your own luck by preparing. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. Margot Robbie famously improvised a slap in her audition across from Leonardo DiCaprio for the 2013 film The Wolf of Wall Street, and she ended up landing her breakout role. Now, I'm not advising that you go slap your coworkers, but if you are well prepared and you take calculated risks when called to do so, maybe it'll be the difference between just another idea or a breakthrough in your path. The more prepared you are, the more you can confidently let go and take risks in the moment to create your best work and expand your limits. There's one thing I'd like you to walk away from this talk with is start now. Because it's not those who perfectly plan out everything in advance before starting who have an edge, but it's those who dare to get on the roller coaster first, put their arms up in the air, and let go and enjoy the ride. It might not look like how you imagined it, but it might just be the key to unlocking your full potential and having fun while you're at it. Thank you.